Good? Yeah, I'm ready. All right, this is the dreaded lip flap test. Lip sync? Man, in TV, that's the worst. Here at the first four, this is a lip sync test at the first four in Dayton as we get ready to welcome the head coach of the Wichita. Yeah. This one here? We're at the first four here in Dayton. This is a lip sync test for the satellite feed at the first four in Dayton. We got a press conference starting here in just a few minutes at 5:50. We will be joined by the student athletes for the Wichita State Shockers and also their head coach, Greg Marshall. Wichita State is out of the Missouri Valley Conference. And after that, we will be joined by student athletes from Vanderbilt University and also the head coach of the Vanderbilt Commodores. Again, this is a lip sync test for the SAT feed for the first four here in Dayton. And we good? Keep talking? Keep talking. All right, first four here in Dayton for the first two games tomorrow night. Fairleigh Dickinson Knights will take on the Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles. And then the second game, the nightcap tomorrow, is the Wichita State Shockers against the Vanderbilt Commodores out of the SEC. We are being joined in a few minutes by the student athletes from Wichita State. That'll start at 5:50. And then after that, we will be joined by Greg Marshall, the head coach of Wichita State. Cool. Sure. For our friends out there on TV, satellite coordinates, the format is 1090I, MPEG 4420. The data rate is 11.914. The symbol is 7.2. The FEC is 5/6. DVB S2 QP SK. Momentarily, we will be joined by student athletes from Wichita State, Fred VanVleet and Ron Baker. We please ask that you silence all your cell phones as you come in. There is no flash photography or video recording allowed. We do ask that you keep your audio recording devices off the dais up here. Also, there are AV distribution sites directly across the hall here, across the tunnel at the back of the room. For transcripts of each press conference we hold here in Dayton, you can go to ncaa.com/transcripts, and we will also be setting out hard copies of the transcripts next to the entrance to the media work area, which again is upstairs up the tunnel. When we have multiple people up here at the table, we ask that specifically with student athletes, you direct your question to a specific player on the team for our purposes, and that when you ask a question, raise your hand, we'll bring the mic around, and just identify yourself by name and affiliation before asking your question. We're now joined by Wichita State student athletes Fred VanVleet and Ron Baker. We will open the floor for questions for these guys. Here on the left in the front.
Adam Sparks of Tennessee, and this is for both of you guys. Obviously, you look at the roster, Vanderbilt has a 7-footer, 7'1" that they start. What's been your experience of how you deal with that size disadvantage, if it is a disadvantage?
Ron, can you answer that first, and then Fred?
We haven't had many 7-footers this year as far as our opponent. Zimmerman from UNLV rings a bell, and Podol from Utah. Probably the only two that we've faced this year. We're fairly pretty successful against them. We got a couple 5-men in our rotation, so try and wear them out, get them away from the basket, put them in ball screens, things like that. But Vanderbilt's a big team, and it's going to be a tough, I think, hopefully advantage for us if he's on the court, but it'll be a tough thing to go against.
Fred?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenge. Obviously, those guys are really good regardless of their size, so we know that coming in. We just try to bring our 5s in waves and just try to wear them down. I think maybe try to play to some of our depth in that position. It's going to take a group effort, but we faced challenges this year, so I think we'll be pretty prepared for it. Just try to come ready to play tomorrow. And as far as advantages, they have their pros and cons of having those big guys, and we have ours. So it's just a matter of who can exploit what the best. But like I said, those guys are really good, and I think our bigs are up for the challenge.
Yep, here on the left again.
You guys have a good rebounding team, and with that undersized, what do your bigs do well that can match up, that can be an advantage against a 7-footer?
Ron, can you answer that, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like Fred said, our 5s that we play in waves. We don't have a 5-man that plays probably over 27 minutes a game. So our idea is to be fresh when you're in, play as hard as you can. We don't need you on the court for 6-7 minutes at a time. It's just 2 or 3 good minutes. And if we can play in waves and rebound the basketball like we have been this season, our defense is playing at a pretty decent level right now. Those are two big factors that go into basketball games in March: defense and rebounding.
Yep, here in the back on the right.
Hey, Fred, are there some things that you can do or maybe have done in practice to help some shooters' confidence, help them feel better about themselves coming into this game?
One, you just get in the gym for guys that are struggling. Everybody, honestly, myself included, just get in the gym. That's always the first step. Get shots up, so that way you can trust your routine, trust your confidence, and as teammates, you just keep encouraging guys and keep staying in their ears. We have good shooters on this team that have just struggled as of late, and hopefully things start going our way. And the other thing is, it's pretty contagious. So when one guy starts making them, it just lifts the whole team, and it catches on pretty quick. So as quick as it can go bad, it can turn good. At the snap of a finger. So this week, I think guys did a good job of taking their time, putting the time in, getting shots up. So hopefully we'll have a better showing tomorrow. But our deal around here has always been defensive rebounding. So we'll lean on that and hopefully make some shots.
Yep, here in the back on the right.
Bob Lutz, Wichita Eagle, you said your deal has always been defensive and rebounding, but how maddening is it or frustrating when you hold a team in the 50s and don't pull out those victories?
Ron?
Most of our losses this year have been us scoring in the 50s, and our defense and rebounding really wasn't that bad. We just weren't able to execute on the offensive end and knock down shots. And part of the reason is from our lack of execution and our lack of spacing on the court. Things we've seen in film can be easily fixed, and we've been focusing on that all this past week. Had really competitive practices, and hopefully we can translate those practices into this tournament.
Yep, here in the back on the right.
Yeah, Ron, how important is it for the defense to maybe create some turnovers and make things easier for the offense?
Yeah, your first offensive possession and scoring matter for us is usually off our defense. We like to get out in the passing lanes, get turnovers, easy baskets. Like Fred said earlier, that can get your team morale going pretty well. And after that, it's kind of a confidence factor. Once you get an easy layup and easy two, your confidence gets going, not only for yourself but for the team. And that's when shots usually start falling, is when your mindset's in the right direction.
Any further questions for our student athletes? All right, Fred and Ron, thanks for your time. Good luck tomorrow night. Next scheduled start is 6:10. That is when we will be joined by the head coach of Wichita State, Greg Marshall. Again, that's 6:10 for Coach Marshall's press conference. All right, we're now joined by the head coach at the Wichita State Shockers, Greg Marshall. Coach, welcome, and if you like, you can start with an opening statement. We'll open the floor for questions.
Okay. Well, we're glad to be here. Had to come through a hurricane, or not a hurricane, but a tornado warning, but we landed safely. I've been here before. 2001 with Winthrop University was the very first game, or what I think back then it was still called a play-in game. I realize it's first four now, but then we started the 64th and 65th teams in the tournament, Northwestern State and the Winthrop Eagles. We played a game here. Obviously, it was such a success. The NCAA said they needed more, so now they've expanded it to 68 and more, 4 games instead of 1. We lost that game. A kid named Dorr Fisher, I think, blocked 11 shots, maybe set a record, and ended up transferring to West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. But great atmosphere that game. I'm sure it'll be wonderful tomorrow. Obviously, we've got a challenge with Vanderbilt and their size and talent. But we're excited to be included, and we're looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Questions for Coach Marshall here in the back on the right.
Greg, every season has a personality. What's been the personality of this season? It's been, in my estimation, unlike any other that you've had at Wichita State.
Bob, I think it's been a testament to just dealing with adversity. It's this season going in, there's high expectations. You've got the 2 seniors coming back that had options to go play professionally. A high preseason ranking, and then in the closed scrimmage that we had against Oklahoma State, Fred VanVleet pulls that hamstring, and we try to get him healthy, and we sit him out during the exhibition, and then he sits out the first game and tells us he's fine. He's going to then play, and tries to play against Tulsa at Tulsa in our second game of the season, and re-injures it, and actually really pulls it pretty badly this time. So he goes down, and Landry Shamet goes in the starting lineup, and a game later he goes down with a stress fracture. He's yet to come back. He'll probably apply for a medical red shirt at the end of the season. And then in the tournament in Orlando, Anton Grady goes down with a spinal concussion. So he's paralyzed temporarily. We don't know if he'll ever play again. So all of that was just very difficult. And trying to get through that and manage. I remember walking off the court after losing the 3rd game in Orlando to Iowa. We played in the 7th place game against Iowa. And we were the guys were really down, and it was a very difficult time. And I'm just thinking, man, first of all, we've got to get some horses back in the stable so we can play this schedule that we've got upcoming. And then I've got to keep them confident, and that was the hardest part. Fred coming back, obviously not 100%, but working his way into being 100%. That probably didn't happen until middle of January. Anton Grady then coming back after missing a handful of games. Connor Frankamp becoming eligible as a mid-year transfer for the UNLV game, and then the Utah game was his 2nd game. So we had to just deal with a lot of adversity this year with injuries, and we finally got him healthy, as healthy as we're going to be, with Landry not coming back and winning 22 of 25. Unfortunately, when you lose in the Valley now, that's late in the year, people said, well, what's going on? Why are they losing in the Valley? You can't lose in the Valley. UNI's a pretty good team, and they'll represent very well tomorrow against or Thursday whenever they play against Texas. We lost at Illinois State, another fairly talented team, and they stormed the court. It's a big deal, and ultimately our metrics were good enough, all the analytics and whatnot, to get us in the tournament. And now it's on us to play and hopefully advance and prove that we belong.
Yep, here on the left, in the front.
Adam Sparks of Tennessee. And Coach, if you've seen enough of Vanderbilt, you know they're a different team when Damian Jones is in foul trouble. Is that the way to combat a big like him, especially him, to go at him, to attack him?
Well, that can work both ways. I mean, he moves extremely well for a 7-footer. He when you look at him, you think you're looking at a 6'6" kid out there because of the way he moves. He's so naturally gifted athletically. You can also attack him and eat some leather. He's going to send it back at you. So I'm not sure. I think you can try that, and if you're successful, that's great. But if it doesn't work, your shooting percentage is going to be way down because he's definitely a rim protector, and he's gonna meet you at the rim and challenge everything.
Here in the back on the left.
Greg, I just talked to Anton, and the kid's just beside himself right now, how excited he is. This is why he came here. Have you had an opportunity to talk to him about this moment, or has he said anything, or have you noticed it?
The reaction of our team yesterday was not surprising when it popped up in the first bracket in the South region. 11 seed going to Dayton, playing on Tuesday. Very matter of fact, and I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know whether they were upset, despondent, just nervous. So didn't really say anything. Just told them to go home, get some rest. We practiced this morning before we left. But after our practice today, I brought the team together and I asked Anton specifically in front of the team. I said, "Have you ever been to the NCAA tournament?" I knew the answer was no, and I said, What do you feel about this? I mean, are you excited? He goes, "Oh, absolutely." I mean, he lit up, just as you mentioned, Will. And I think that's when our team, his excitement then permeated through the team. And I think that we'll be ready to play. We've got to make some shots, and we've got to defend a very talented club on the other side. But it's great to not be jaded. I mean, Ron and Fred, they just sat here, and you would have thought they were just a couple of businessmen giving a presentation. They're so used to it. They've been doing it their whole careers, but it's not something that's your God-given right. It's something you've got to earn, and you should appreciate it, and hopefully we can make it special.
Yep, here in the back.
How important is that to have that influx of new, fresh energy? I know he's not a young kid, so how important is that?
Well, I mean, it's just the nature of our game. You can only keep these guys 5 years max. They get 5 years to play 4, even though some people think that Baker and Van Vliet are on their second 4-year term. And the reason is because they went to the Final Four as freshmen, and they were part of a nice run, and people got to know them. Then they followed that up with a 35-0 season. So they're known in college basketball for a long time now. But you've got Anton Grady, who gets his first experience with this. Guys like Marcus McDuffie, the Missouri Valley Conference Rookie of the Year. I mean, I know Marcus has got to be bouncing off the walls. He was a 17-year-old freshman when he arrived, and he's very excitable anyway. So he'll have the guys loose.
Here in the back on the right.
Greg, could you describe Wade Baldwin and what he does for them, what kind of problems he poses?
Well, first of all, he's their point guard. He runs the show. Someone told me he's like 6'4", haven't seen him in person, but he has a 6'10" wingspan. And I did see him just jump up and try to dunk a back cut that was, I went, man, I couldn't believe he tried to dunk that. It wasn't an easy dunk attempt. And he just reached back and tried to backhand dunk it on one of the videotapes that I've seen. Then one of my assistant coaches, I saw him dunk in transition, and one of my assistant coaches said, he seems to follow Russell Westbrook's game. You see guys follow or emulate certain NBA players, and he's got some of that. And, so obviously he's ultra talented, long, can get to the rim, can shoot it deep. has a nice stroke. So, I mean, they've got a handful of very talented players, and you know we're gonna have our hands full. They're bigger, they're more athletic, they're longer, they shoot it better. So I'm trying to find our advantage.
Here on the aisle on the right.
Greg, you mentioned that Fred and Ron look like businessmen, just talking about business up there earlier. There's some stoicism on this team. What's the blend? Is it good to have stoic players? Is it good to have excitable players? You're certainly not. I wouldn't describe you as stoic. What's the right blend for a team?
I'm not sure, Bob. I think that you've got to have a little bit of everything. I think that plays off of one guy's strengths, maybe another guy's weakness, and you just hopefully get a nice blend. This team's been easy to coach. They're great kids. We've said it all year. We've really enjoyed coaching them. They're nice guys, but once they're in the lines, they've got to turn on another switch, and hopefully they can do that tomorrow.
Yep, again on the right.
Talking about that, with so many seniors, guys that have played 120 games, you've called them iconic players in Wichita State history. How much have you had to coach them in the aftermath of Northern Iowa? Is part of you just saying, hey, you guys have been here, you've been to Final Fours, it's kind of up to you now?
Well, we did work on the mental game this past week. We had a lot of time to do that. All we were doing is watching other people play, trying to break down the brackets, be prognosticators, and watch film. The practices were short but intense. The film study was longer and very telling, very honest, very open. And we talked about, to take nothing away from you and I think they're a tremendous team, great coach. They do a wonderful job. But you're 2 for 24 from 3, and 16 to 18 of those are wide open looks. You've got to make more than 2, and we just got to perform better, and that's what we talked about. If we're going to make a run, if I ask you in this room who performed well in the video room, and you get 1, maybe 2 hands go up, that's not enough. And in order for us to make a run, we're going to have to get a handful or more good performances tomorrow, and then if we get a chance to go to Providence, it's got to happen there too, because you have one bad day in this tournament and you're done.
Here on the left.
I asked Ron and Fred how to counter Vanderbilt's size. They said you guys will bring waves of bigs. You'll sub frequently. What's the goal there? If that works, subbing in a big every 5-6 minutes, is it to wear down the opponent's legs, foul trouble? What if that works? What happens? 5
or 6 minutes, you're giving my guys the benefit of the doubt. It's more like 2 or 3. Yeah, exactly. We want to keep them fresh. There's very little drop off when you go from Shaq Morris to Anton Grady to Rono Nerger. So we're going to try to keep them fresh and perhaps playing at 100% peak efficiency versus Damian Jones, who obviously also has some good subs coming in. We mentioned Josh Henderson and guys like that, but we've got to make sure that we're the fresher, more energetic, more passionate team. And if we can do that, hopefully we can make a couple shots and have a chance.
Jay in the back.
Jay Morrison, Daily News. You hear people say all the time the importance of having a senior backcourt in the tournament. How important is that in your mind, an experienced backcourt? And in what situations does that most manifest itself in games?
With Fred and Ron's case, which is who you're speaking of specifically, it really hasn't changed much from in the last 4 years. I mean, they were very mature, dynamic performers that played well beyond their years. They were precocious, if you will, as freshmen in that Final Four run. I remember Ron Baker and Fred VanVleet both making big plays when we beat the number 1 seed in the whole tournament, Gonzaga, and then to reach the Sweet 16, and then to reach the Final Four. Both of them played great and hit big shots against Ohio State, and both of them played great against Louisville in the semifinals. So really, it's interesting you asked that, because I was just joking with Ron Baker. I said, can we get that freshman Ron Baker back? Because you didn't care a thing in the world. You just balled out, and that's what we need tomorrow.
Any further questions for Coach Marshall? Yep, on the aisle.
You just sparked a question there.
I saw that.
You said to Ron, can we get that freshman back? Do you feel like they're carrying too much weight on their shoulders?
I don't know. You have to get them back in here and ask that question. But it's interesting, the way how free and easy they played as freshmen with not a care in the world, and now who knows what's on their mind, whether it's what's next. But I know that they'll give everything that they've got, and they're obviously very mature and focused and strong-willed young men. So we anticipate them playing well, but they've got to knock down some shots. They've just got to let it go. Stop aiming the ball and shoot it.
Anything further? All right, Greg, thank you for your
Thanks,
time.
guys.
Good luck tomorrow night. Next scheduled start is at 6:35, so about 8 minutes from now, 6:35, we'll be joined by student athletes from Vanderbilt. All right, we're now being joined by Vanderbilt, student athletes Luke Cornett and Wade Baldwin, IV. We just ask that you identify yourself by name and affiliation before asking your question, and direct your question to a specific student athlete. Open up the floor for questions. Yep, on the left. Here in the aisle.
Adam Sparks of Tennessee, and this is for Luke. Wichita State talked a lot a minute ago about the size difference, and every team you guys have played have talked about that. Have you guys used the size difference, or how do you use that? Do you think you've used it effectively?
I think it helps us in certain ways a lot more. I think in terms of contesting shots around the goal, it helps us a lot, and I mean just defensively in general, being able to cover more area. And I think offensively, I mean, Damian especially, just get the ball inside of them. I think it comes into play more defensively than anything, though.
Yep, again.
This is for Wade. A minute ago, Wichita State's coach compared you to Russell Westbrook. You've gotten a lot of NBA hype over this year. How do you balance that of your draft stock or the attention you've gotten with being the point guard and the leader of this team? How do you balance those two, and if you've done better over time with that?
Ever since a kid, it's been a dream to be a part of the NCAA tournament, and you know that's the first goal, to get there, and I'm here right now, and I'm just trying to seize the opportunity. All season we've been working hard to get to this point, and we earned the spot, and I'm just living in a dream right now, and we're on a mission.
Here in the back on the right.
Paul Solentrop from the Wichita Eagle. Wade, it looks like Matthew Fisher-Davis has really been scoring really well over the last 8 or 10 games. Could you just kind of talk me through maybe what's changed or why he's playing so well recently?
Matthew's been putting a lot more time in the gym. He's a terrific shooter just by nature, and he's been in the gym for the past 2-3 months, and it's definitely starting to click for him now. I think he has over like 150 threes on the season that he's attempted, and I mean the kid's a hell of a shooter, has size, and is starting to get a better feel for everything on the court.
Yep, here on the left.
Wade, you're facing two, I think, All-American guards for Wichita State. How familiar are you with them? Do they remind you of anybody that you've seen?
I didn't know who they were until yesterday. They told us about their team, so I'm not really familiar with them at all. But I was last night, I will be a lot today.
Any further? Yep, on the right.
If both of you could address this, I've talked to a couple people who have seen Vanderbilt play a lot this season, and they said Vanderbilt kind of up and down, disappointing regular season, but they were the kind of team that getting in the tournament could really give them new life. And he said he could see them going, really far in this tournament because of the talent. Do you guys feel the same way?
Wade, if you could answer that first, and then Luke.
I definitely feel that way. We're on full display now. It's win or go home, season over. We have seniors on our team. We don't want them to, go out unhappy. We're trying to play and get to Providence right now. That's our main goal. We're going to take one game at a time.
Luke?
I would say that it has been a long season, and there's been, as is with any team, some positives and negatives. But I would say that if just developing some sort of momentum, we could be a very dangerous team. And I think we have all the pieces to make a run in this tournament, and we definitely plan on it. And I mean, really just everything starts with this first game, and we're really just trying to take it a day at a time. And if we could come out tomorrow and play very well and potentially develop some momentum, but I think the first game it's really the most important, and it's just all about bringing our intensity and focus into tomorrow.
Any further questions for Luke and Wade? All right, guys, thanks for your time. Good luck tomorrow night. And our last scheduled start for the evening will be in about 15 minutes. We are scheduled to be joined by the head coach of Vanderbilt, Kevin Stallings, at 6:55 for that start. We're now being joined by the head coach of the Vanderbilt Commodores, Kevin Stallings. A couple things, no video recording is allowed, but there are AV stations across the hall. Silence your cell phones, no flash photography. And we just ask that you wait for the mic to come around before answering your question or asking your question. Kevin, good. How are you? John. Good to see you, John. Nice to meet you. Kevin, if you like, you can start with an opening statement, and then we'll open the floor for questions.
Well, we're really excited to be in Dayton. Excited to be a part of our sports national championship, and we look forward to taking the floor tomorrow night and putting forth our best effort, and we certainly understand the privilege that it is to play in the NCAA tournament, and couldn't be more grateful and humble and appreciative of the opportunity. We obviously drew a team that has extensive NCAA tournament experience and successful experience, so we know that we have our work cut out for us. But again, we're ecstatic about the opportunity to play, and hopeful that we can play as we played for the majority of the last half or 2/3 of our conference season this season.
Questions for Coach Stallings? Here on the left.
Adam Sparks of Tennessee. And Kevin, how much does that experience, where could that make a difference? 5 straight tournaments in the first for these guys.
Well, I think it makes a huge difference because, you know, the guys on their team that are non-freshmen have experienced this before, and you know what they say about experience, you can't teach it, and so I think that's certainly an advantage for them, and again, it's successful experience. It's not just they've played 4 or 5 years in a row and got beat. They've won a bunch of games in those times that they've played. So, but our team's just going to have to settle into the game and stick to our plan and do what we do. And if we can stay focused on us and stay focused on what we do and what we do well and execute it, then that's all I can ask from my team.
On the left again.
Kevin, you've got the 7-footers. They've got the 6'6" to 6'8" bigs. Some coaches, some teams have issues with those tweener type guys, those athletic 6'8" guys. Why is that an issue? It seems simple of 7-footers, 6'6". Why is it a problem for a lot of teams?
Well, because first of all, this is not the NBA. We don't have rules that legislate how you can bring help to a post player, or you know what quadrant of the court that you have to be in according to where your man is, and so on and so forth. And sometimes those 6'8" guys are a lot more mobile, or they might be wider and stronger and more physical. So yeah, there's not much that's more overrated than height in a basketball game. You would much rather have strength and physicality and quickness and speed and skill, so yeah, the height thing can be very, very overrated. Now, at times defensively, our length at the goal certainly is an asset, and it's been an asset all season long, and hopefully it will be tomorrow night. But at the same time, the team with the best players will win the game. The teams with the players that play the best, I should say, will win the game. And it doesn't matter if they're 6 foot or 6'9". The team that plays the best will win.
Yep, here in the back on the right.
Sorry if you answered this already. Is playing this extra game kind of a bonus for you guys, get your feet under you, and kind of getting that tournament mindset before a lot of the other teams get to?
If we win. If we can be successful in the game, then yeah, I would look at it as a bonus, because you kind of get whatever nerves you have or whatever newness and inexperience that you have coming into a situation like this. you get that kind of chipped off, if you will, and have an opportunity then to sort of settle in. But again, we're just grateful for the opportunity to play. We don't care if we have to play an extra game. We're excited about this game and excited about this opportunity and embrace it fully. Yes, we're very hopeful of being in Providence on Thursday, but we're very excited to be in Dayton.
You're in a right again.
You talked about the inexperience, but Josh has been your only player with the NCAA experience. Are you going to have to lean on him at all, or have him be a factor?
You know, I think that the guys that are going to be leaned on are the guys that have played for us the most. You know, we're going to lean on the we're going to lean on anybody that plays really, and Josh didn't play that much when we were in the tournament the last time anyway, and so. We had this guy named Azili that sort of was a pretty good player for us that didn't allow for other guys to get to play too much, but we're you know, I hope Josh has an impact on the game, and I hope Josh has an impact on his teammates in the locker room by what he says about his experiences of playing in the NCAA tournament.
Any further questions for Coach Stallings? All right, Kevin, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow night.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a nice day or night.